If every Left 4 Dead uncommon infected suddenly appeared in the real world, what are your chances of surviving? Let's rank them and find out. Alright, let's talk about the legend himself, Jimmy Gibbs Jr.
If the laws of nature allowed it, I would bear that man's children.
What? Jimmy Gibbs Jr. was once a famous stock car racer from the southern United States, a local celebrity whose face is plastered all over the Liberty Mall. He appears exclusively in the Dead Center campaign, specifically in the final level called the Atrium. But considering his insanely low spawn rate, you could consider him mythical levels of rarity. You might never see him at all. By game logic, Jimmy Gibbs is absolutely ridiculous. His tankiness is unreal. You need multiple full magazines of assault rifle ammo just to drop him. Shotguns point blank, they barely scratch him. This guy eats buckshot for breakfast. And when he hits you, he blinds you with motor oil. Similar to the Mudman. Oh, and his racing suit makes him completely fireproof. Molotovs? Useless. He ignores pipe bombs and bile jars entirely. This guy is secretly a special infected disguised as an uncommon one. But here's where it gets absolutely stupid. Despite all that, he's a one-hit kill with any melee weapon. One swing with a baseball bat, one slap with a frying pan, and he's done. A shotgun blast to the face does nothing, but a frying pan knocks him into the Shadow Realm? Does this make any sense? Absolutely zero. But this is your greatest advantage. To make it even better, he also gets one-shotted by sniper rifles, the Magnum pistol, grenade launchers, and explosive ammunition. I am just going to assume everyone was drunk at Valve during his design meeting. So how do you deal with him in a real-life situation? If somehow the game logic applies in real life, this becomes a heavily situational scenario. Either you have a melee weapon, which in case of a zombie apocalypse, you should definitely be carrying anyway, whether it's a knife, a crowbar, hell, even just a pan you are carrying for that bulletproof booty protection. And you're completely fine. But in the ironically unlucky situation where you're so well geared that you only have an assault rifle, you're not defeating him. He's fast and aggressive. You simply don't have the time to shoot and reload that much ammo into one zombie before he closes the distance. By the time you've burned through 3 magazines, he has smashed your head through the windshield of his racing car. In reality though, Jimmy Gibbs is just a regular zombie wearing a racing suit. Sure, that suit gives him some fire protection. Racing suits are designed to resist flames for maybe 10 to 30 seconds, but no power armor level of apocalyptic defense. But other than that slight fire resistance, you kill him like any other infected. The suit offers no protection against bullets or blunt force. It's just fabric. Either way, considering you should have a melee weapon with you at all times anyway in a survival scenario, Jimmy Gibbs is just another infected. Know the trick, use melee, and the legend goes down easily. C tier. Fallen Survivor. The Fallen Survivor was evidently a fairly well-equipped survivor from the initial outbreak, but unfortunately became infected later on. He appears in the DLC campaign The Passing, wearing militia attire including a boonie hat and 3 ammo belts, with a strap carrying visible Molotovs, pipe bombs, pills, and a first aid kit. Basically, he's a walking loot piñata. In-game, he is tougher than regular infected, fireproof for no reason, and ignores pipe bombs and bile jars. But here's the twist. When he sees you, he just runs away. He's the only infected in the entire game that sees you and goes, "Nope, I'm out." In real life, this is literally the best case scenario you could hope for. An infected that doesn't want to fight you? That's the dream. You don't even have to engage, just let him go. No combat required, no risk, no danger. But let's be honest, you're not going to let him go. You see that medkit on his back? Those supplies dangling from his gear? And in a survival situation, supplies mean everything. So yeah, you're going to chase him. How to beat him? Firearms are your best bet. He's running away, back-turned, clean shot. Any pistol, rifle, or shotgun works. He might have video game tankiness, but in real life, a bullet to the back or head drops any human, infected or not. Going melee? That's trickier. You'd need to catch him first, and this guy is fast, dodging, weaving, jumping over obstacles. You'd have to corner him in a dead end or trap him in a room. Once cornered with nowhere to run, one solid swing with a bat, crowbar, or machete ends it. In-game, the gear he's wearing doesn't provide ammo. It's just supplies strapped to his body. Though in real life, those ammo belts and gear might actually offer some valuable ammunition. Here's the real danger though, tunnel vision. You're so focused on chasing that backpack full of goodies that you're not paying attention to your surroundings. Suddenly, you've run straight into a horde you didn't see. Or you've disturbed a witch. That's how a fallen survivor kills you in real life. Not by attacking you, but by baiting you into stupid decisions driven by greed. If you've got a clear shot in a safe area and you're confident you can grab the loot and get out safely, take him down. But if he's running toward dangerous territory, let him go. Those supplies aren't worth your life. Don't let greed get you killed. D tier. Ceda Worker. The Ceda Worker infected were members of Ceda, the Civil Emergency and Defense Agency. They were supposed to stop the outbreak. Well, that didn't go too well. In-game, they have standard health, but are nearly immune to fire damage. When they burn long enough, they will eventually fall, though that takes quite a long time. You'd basically need to roast them like a Thanksgiving turkey. Not exactly a viable strategy. When you kill them, they occasionally drop bile jars, which is a nice bonus. In real life, hazmat suits are designed for chemical protection. They are fire-resistant at best. Sustained fire melts them, which makes the game version ironically accurate, since they do eventually burn, just very slowly. How to beat them? These guys are pretty much just another infected with a hazmat suit that doesn't exactly protect them from anything. Guns work perfectly. Zero ballistic protection. Headshot drops them instantly. Melee will knock them out and bladed weapons cut right through. Bottom line, if you can deal with any other infected, you will be able to deal with them too. The bile jar drop is a nice bonus that makes encountering them almost welcome. C tier. Construction Worker. The worker infected is your average construction worker who was on the job when the outbreak hit. He's wearing full safety gear, hard hat, high visibility vest, ear protection, work boots. He has slightly more health than common infected. You would think he can take more headshots due to his helmet, but that is not the case. He also ignores pipe bombs and bile jars completely, which seems reasonable since the ear protection makes him not hear the pipe bomb. Though with the bile jar, I can't think of a good reason behind that. Might be an oversight or, well, we already talked about Valve's design team. In real life, that hard hat actually matters. Construction helmets are designed to absorb impact from falling objects. When you swing a bat at his head, you're hitting the helmet first, not his skull. You might crack the helmet, but you probably won't crack his head. Melee weapons become a problem. Rifles still work easily though. Bullets have focused kinetic energy and punch straight through that plastic like it's nothing. Here's an advantage. That high visibility safety vest makes him easily spottable. In low light, fog, or chaotic situations, that reflective material stands out. Be aware that he ignores pipe bombs. Throwing one to distract a horde could give you a false sense of security since he will still chase you. Otherwise, you treat him like any other infected. Use guns for easy kills, and if you need to melee him, aim for his body to bring him down, then smash the hell out of him until his helmet breaks. B tier. The Mudmen appear in the Swamp Fever campaign in the Louisiana Bayou. They're locals who became infected and adapted perfectly to the swamp environment. Covered head to toe in mud, they use it as natural camouflage. Unlike standard infected, Mudmen sprint on all fours, crawling through muck and lurking just below the water's surface. They move fast, low to the ground, and when they hit you, they smear mud across your screen, blurring your vision, similar to boomer bile. Consecutive hits make the effect even worse. Out in the swamp, they blend in almost perfectly, and their low profile, speed on all fours, and total terrain advantage, combined with coordinated group attacks from multiple angles, basically turning them into apex predator zombies. In real life, Mudmen would be genuinely terrifying. Imagine an infected crawling through shallow water like alligators, silent, hidden, and closing the distance before you even notice. You're wading through murky, knee-deep water with terrible footing, and suddenly, something lunges up, clawing at your face. Mud blinds you instantly, panic sets in, and you're surrounded by water you can't properly run in. So how do you deal with them? Shotguns are your best friend. One close-range shell puts them down, and the spread helps counter their low stance and erratic movement. Rifles and pistols are harder. They're moving quickly and are partially submerged. Melee is terrible. If you miss once, they'll be on your legs instantly, dragging you down. And if multiple Mudmen swarm you, you're going face first into the swamp with no way to recover. Stay out of the swamp whenever possible. Stick to solid ground. On concrete or dry land, Mudmen lose most of their advantages. Best case, you spot them early, keep distance, and blast them with a shotgun. Worst case, you're already in the water when they strike at night, from multiple directions. You can't run, you can't see, you can't keep your footing. They'll overwhelm you fast. A tier, highly dangerous depending on the environment. Clown Zombie. Once just goofy entertainers at the amusement park, these clowns definitely did not get a happy ending. In the Dark Carnival campaign, they now wander the fairgrounds as infected freaks with smeared makeup, rotting hair, and the most cursed feature of all, those squeaky clown shoes. In-game, that squeak isn't just annoying, it is a warning. Clowns do not come alone. When one spots a survivor and charges, that squeaking sound pulls every nearby infected straight towards you like a parade of death. Clowns Clown infected are not much stronger or tougher than normal infected. A bullet or a solid hit drops them instantly. The real threat is everything that follows. The clown is basically a mobile alarm system that summons chaos with every squeak. Now, how bad would this be in real life? Imagine the pure psychological horror of a zombie dressed as a clown sprinting at you, screaming, honking, and trying to tear you apart. If you are afraid of clowns, this is your final boss, a terrifying nightmare. And if that is not bad enough, 20 more infected suddenly rush in behind him, and now you are surrounded? That situation goes downhill fast. How to deal with them? Preferably from a distance so you can kill him before he starts squeaking towards you. Though keep in mind that gunfire is even louder than squeaky shoes and could actually attract even more attention. Your best option is melee and stealth kills, fast and quiet. One solid bat swing to the head, one machete chop, and he's done. The costume offers no protection. It's just fabric and face paint. Make that first hit count, because if you miss, you're wrestling a zombie clown while those shoes keep squeaking. Better yet, avoid them entirely if you can. See a clown from a distance, take a different route. Let him squeak away from you. Clowns are physically weak, but strategically dangerous. One clown alone? Free kill. One clown in a crowded carnival? You are the final act, and the audience is starving. For the psychological trauma alone, A tier. Riot infected. While they were still human, the Riot infected worked as private security hired by Ceda, helping control panicked crowds during evacuations. But when the outbreak hit them too, they turned while still wearing their full Riot gear, and that armor makes them a nightmare to fight. In-game, they take basically zero damage from the front. You can unload entire magazines into them, and they'll just keep walking straight through it. The only reliable way to kill one with standard weapons is to get behind him and strike the unprotected areas, unless you're using a chainsaw, explosives, or fire, which ignore their armor completely. In real life, Riot armor would still offer serious protection. Not as overpowered as in-game, but enough to make them one of the toughest infected you could face. Even if bullets don't penetrate the plates, the massive blunt force would transfer through the armor. Broken ribs, shattered organs, internal bleeding, the zombie would still take brutal damage. Sustained hits from rifles or shotguns would eventually drop him even from the front. And unlike in the game, the back is also protected. So the whole just get behind him tactic, pretty useless here. And melee? This is the first infected where melee is almost completely useless, which is a nightmare in a zombie apocalypse, since melee weapons are probably all you've got. No guns, no ammo? Good luck fighting him with a knife. Blades simply won't penetrate the thick plates and padding. Baseball bats, crowbars, machetes, axes, they just bounce off. You're wasting energy hitting armor designed to absorb exactly that kind of impact. You'll be exhausted from swinging long before he takes any serious damage. Every second you're in swinging distance, he's already grabbing, smashing, and pinning you to the ground. Close quarters brawling with one of these infected is basically a death wish. Best strategy in reality: if all you've got is melee, knock him off balance, take his mobility away, and finish him while he is on the ground. Target the legs to force him down, then somehow manage to break his helmet or take it off to smash his head. With guns, deliver a clean headshot. Riot helmets are not bulletproof. One solid shot ends it fast. Fire and explosives also don't care about armor and will cook him alive like any other infected. These enemies demand actual tactics and teamwork. Tight spaces, multiple Riot infected at once. That's a death sentence if you panic. Avoid them if possible, outsmart them if you must. Oh, and here is my favorite fun fact I learned about Left 4 Dead researching for this video. You can jump on them like Mario on Goombas, and they will actually die instantly. I couldn't even believe it when I read it, but it actually works. Now, this is not exactly realistic, so don't try this in real life, though I would love to see you try. Anyway, S tier, the most dangerous, uncommon Left 4 Dead zombies you could face. How would you fight against these zombies? Tell me in the comments. And now that you know how to handle the uncommon infected, it's time for the real monsters. Check out my video on the special infected. I'll see you there. Join our Discord community, and if you're enjoying the content, like and subscribe.